Must hydrate. Welcome everybody. Welcome to our online community. Nice to see everybody. I'm thinking of all the people that we know are online right now. Dawn and Mary Ann, Mary Lou, other people that I'm looking around to see who's not here, thinking that they're probably online. Oh, Betty Jean and Tony's here, but Betty Jean's not. Okay. Hi, Betty Jean. Nice to see you. Good. Well, we gotta keep those folks in our heart. They're part of us, and it's always good to see everybody here, see everybody's face at once. Yeah. Shall we begin this morning in prayer? Great Spirit, Father, Mother, everything God, in us, through us, and all around us. Thank you for this day. Thank you for every day. Thank you for each moment. Thank you for this moment especially, right now. We give thanks. Gratitude. Gratitude for all the many blessings, not only for us, but all the many blessings for everyone around the world. And each of the tiniest little blessings, Lord, we thank you that we recognize the constant presence that you provide in our lives. Each and every tiny little moment, we are blessed. And we give as much gratitude as we can. Help us to turn it into love, service, and expression of the divine light of Jesus in our heart. Amen. Okay, well, yes, let's have some music. Sheba. Good morning, and Bill.
I think we're going to name us Being the Queen.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Being the queen. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody? Y'all ready? Isn't it wonderful?
Isn't it delightful? He's not got his glasses with him. Oh, here they are.
Oh, he found them.
I'm going to just call on the Christ within. I think.
Okay. And what you need about now, calling on the Christ within. All the songs we're doing today are all original songs. I wrote them. Bill is so beautiful that he's playing the background music. And it's truly, give thanks. Thank you, Bill.
Oh, right. Well, I think I'm going to have to band in the box.
Okay.
To let this kick off. Are you ready?
That'll work.
This starts off with just leave it to God, right? Just leave it to God.
Don't ever feel alone. Turn it over to God. Stand still and be strong. When trouble is near, God is always there. He's close to you than hands and feet. Call on the Christ within. It is your friend. Be truthful to yourself. God is truthful to you. God loves you so. This you need to know. Now it's all up to you. I said all I need to say. Just don't forget to pray and meditate every day. Call on the Christ within. to God. Don't ever feel alone. Turn it over to God. Stand still and be strong. When trouble is near, God is always there. He close to you, need a hand and feet. Call on the Christ within. It is your friend. Yeah. Be truthful to yourself. God is truthful to you. God loves you so. This you need to know.
You need to know
When it's all up to you.
this. It's all up to you.
I said all I need to say.
She said no, she needs to say.
Just don't forget to pray and meditate every day. Call on the Christ within. Is a friend. Call on the Christ within. Is your friend. Call on the Christ within. It is your friend. Yeah, woo! Your drum in the box needs to stop. Thank you.
He does. There you go.
All right.
All right, now it's time to affirm Unity's foundational principle together. There is only one power, one presence, active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And when we walk our talk and live our principle, we are a thriving spiritual community, here to inspire one another to realize God's love. Centered in the Spirit of God, we see peace, love, and abundance in an awakening world. All right, can y'all hear me okay? Okay. Today, the daily word is appreciation. Yes. Sunday, October 5th, 2025. October already. Appreciation keeps me in a state of gratitude. Can we affirm this together, please? Appreciation keeps me in a state of gratitude. It can be easy to take the blessings of my life for granted. For the gratitude I feel to be supplanted by the busyness and concerns of everyday life. But practicing appreciation is the best way to attract even more blessings and stay open to life and love. Appreciation and gratitude keep me in a state of awe and wonder, open to the beauty of the world, the kindness of other people, and the benevolence of God. With my heart and mind open to the world's wonders, I am simply magnetic. I draw to myself blessings large and small. Synchronicities, serendipities, and all kinds of wonderful surprises come my way when I am appreciative. I live in ease and grace, aware of the presence of God, and grateful every day. And the accompanying scripture, Psalms 9:1, I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart. I will tell of all your wonderful deeds. Beautiful. Okay, We are now ready for some more of that good music. Thank you all. And will be followed by presentation of our lesson and meditation from Reverend Peggy Hostetler. Thank you, Reverend Peggy.
I had to give thanks to Reverend Peggy. I played her some of my music and she really enjoyed it. And she asked me for her service for the day. Will I do some of my songs? I appreciate that. Giving me an opportunity to share my music that I wrote from my heart. Thank you, Reverend Peggy. Let's do it. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. God is because I am. I am because God is. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am, and I'm in you. When life is tossing like a ship on the sea, just be still and call on me. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. God is because I am. I am because God is. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am, and I'm in you. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. God is because I am. I am because God is. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am, and I love you. Just remember you're never alone. Go within and find God's throne. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. God is because I am. I am because God is. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am, and I'm in you. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. God is because I am. I am because God is. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am, and I love you. When life don't please you anymore, pain and fear knocking at your door, be still and know I am God. Be still and still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. God is because I am. I am because God is. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am, and I love you. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am, and I'm in you.
Thank you to be in the Queen. I love that. Is that a new idea today, Bill?
Yes, yes.
It is a new idea today. Well, I love it. I'm here to hear about that. Don't you love music? Don't you love the live music? Isn't there something about live music that causes us to vibrate with it more than if it was recorded, even with the best sound system? So from that place, let's go within right now to be still and know. To let go of the busyness of our morning, to take those wonderful deep breaths and allow our mind and our heart to open up to the good of this morning, right here, right now. The words that have been spoken here already and the music that has been sung already have lifted us to a place that's higher than where we were when we walked in the door this morning. Let us give thanks for that. Let us know that as this morning's celebration goes forward, our lives are truly blessed and we become the blessing to the world that we would love to be. I give thanks that this is so. And so it is. Well, I love our topic this morning. You know, I always speak to hear what I want to hear. And so as soon as we get to my slides, which I'm sure Mike will get us. There we go, letting God in. This is from a New Thought perspective. You know, if I were to be speaking at any other kind of a mainstream Christian church, it would be a different talk this morning, wouldn't it? If I were to be a Buddhist speaking, this would never be a title. This idea that we get the blessing of a relationship with the divine, and it's up to us to make it happen. It's always there. And the Christian symbolism is very true about that. You know, there's this wonderful picture. My mother has one of these, or did for years, on her dining room wall. That is Jesus standing outside the door and knocking. You know, that's from Revelation. So Jesus didn't say, I stand at the door and knock, but that was written later. And it's quite often been interpreted that Jesus is standing outside the door and knocking. And what is the significant piece about this particular painting? There's no latch on the outside. Jesus cannot open the door. We have to open the door from the inside. And so that's of significance if we come from a mainstream Christian background, to realize it's our awakening that brings the Christ within, even though it's always there. And of course, in New Thought, we have this wonderful other picture. So that's what goes with this. You know, God is not out there somewhere. This is, of course, Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel with that spark of life being given to Adam from God, which is a beautiful painting and full of symbolism. We could spend the day talking about the symbolism of this painting, but we're not going to do that. Just a couple brief things is that God's the one rushing forward in the painting, if you've not noticed, and Adam's the one kind of hanging back. So the life is not yet in him until the fingers touch, and not only is that life the physical life, but it's also the mental, spiritual life that's being given to Adam. And for us to see that from a New Thought perspective is a good idea as well, but also to realize that we're not worshiping a God that's out there. The God that we're worshiping is everywhere, but especially in us. And that light of the infinite flows through us to bless our lives and to bless the world we touch. And so what we're talking about when we let God in is awakening to the divine presence within us. And for us to get that felt sense. As I look at your wonderful faces this morning, as I look out at the camera to those that might view this later or at a distance today, I invite you to feel that light flowing through you. To know that as you put your attention on it, that it grows because of your attention. And so when we talk about letting God in, we're allowing ourselves to awaken to the God that's always right here. For we know that it's true that God exists through all that is, through all the cosmos. And we can look to find God in the stars, can't we? We can look to find God in the cosmos. We can study the sciences that are available for us to study, and we can grow in our understanding of the infinite nature of God, and yet how important it is to bring it home to our own life. So here's a picture of my backyard, and I like to think that God's in my backyard. And for you to think that God's in your backyard, and for us to see God in nature wherever we love nature. This is a small view of part of my backyard, and the impatiens were doing really well, so I snapped this picture before I trimmed them back. They were getting a little leggy. But for us to use the gifts of nature to recognize God's presence day in and day out in our lives, and then to realize that even the very smallest, hydrogen atom, God's there. And how wonderful it is to think that all that exists in the universe, the only thing at the Big Bang was hydrogen atoms. And that everything that exists since then is a result of the cosmos exploding and suns being drawn together and the furnace of suns creating physical heavy elements such that the earth can exist and we can exist, and we're not just floating around as hydrogen. That wouldn't be nearly as fun. So we've got some quotes here. I love to come back to Charles Fillmore and Ernest Holmes. I am a Science of Mind minister, but I study all of the New Thought writers, and I can always find quotes from all of them for whatever it is I'm talking about, right? So here's one of the things Charles Fillmore has said. In the center of your being is the God potentiality. God himself exists there. Now, if you're female like I am, I reinterpret this. And I read it, in the center of my being is the God potentiality. God herself exists there. And however it is that you identify with a deity, with the one source of all good, that we know that it is everywhere present and it's right within us. And as we let it in to our consciousness, we are very likely letting it into our lives, right? And then from Ernest Holmes, your outward search for God culminates in the greatest of all possible discoveries, the finding of him at the center of your own being. And so we can search the cosmos, we can search everywhere looking for God, can't we? And we can find God in all those things we're looking at. And yet for us to make that connection, we're talking about within ourselves, aren't we? And again, I would put the female pronoun in this one. I'm not going to read it all. Finding her at the center of my own being. Finding the God that we identify with, the one that is closest to us, nearer than our neck vein, closer than our breath. The God is right there. So I'd love to tell some stories this morning. Melinda Kramer. How many of you know the name Melinda Kramer? I'm just curious. Okay. She was one of the founders of Divine Science, lived around the turn of the 19th into the 20th century in San Francisco. And one of the founders of Divine Science, I'd like to tell you about her life and how her life was changed when she awakened to the presence of God in her life. In the mid-1800s, a little girl named Melinda Elliott Kramer was born into a large Quaker family in Indiana. Her years were filled with the ordinary joys of farm life in the early times, but as a teenager, her health began to fail. What started as illness became a lifelong struggle. By her mid-20s, Melinda was considered an invalid. Doctors tried everything, yet each one declared her case hopeless. For more than 20 years, Melinda lived in pain, confined by her body, her life shrinking smaller and smaller. Yet her spirit would not surrender. Deep inside, she carried a question that would not let her go. Is there any power in the universe that can heal me? Then one quiet evening in 1885, at the age of 41, Melinda sat in meditation. She turned that burning question inward. Is there any power in the universe that can heal me? And something happened. She felt herself bathed in a presence, radiant, alive, loving, everywhere. It was as though light itself broke through her despair. She realized this presence. This God was not far away, but within her, closer than her own breath. In that instant, she knew she was whole. Though her body took time to catch up, her consciousness had shifted. She was no longer an invalid. She was free in spirit. That realization became the turning point in her life. She began to practice what she had seen, that there is one infinite life, one divine source, and we are expressions of it. As she lived in this truth, her health improved. She discovered that her suffering had not been a curse, but a preparation, carving out the depth of her soul for its awakening. Others noticed the change. They came to her for help, and she prayed with them, guided them to the same presence. Healing began to happen. Hearts lifted, bodies mended, lives opened to new possibilities. Soon Melinda was teaching classes in her San Francisco home, her parlor filled with people eager to learn about the divine science of life. She described it simply, God is everywhere present, and when we live in that awareness, harmony is restored. So one of the key words of divine science is omnipresence. And one of my favorite writers and ministers from years past is Nona Brooks. And that was her key to healing, this idea that God is everywhere present, and that wherever the problem seems to be, as we can recognize God's presence there, the problem is healed. And our believing in that makes all the difference. So this brings to mind a question. If God is everywhere present and a healing principle, can we have a personal relationship with that presence and that power? As we have our thinking mind analyzing this idea of omnipresence, of God's presence everywhere, how do we bring it home to ourselves to make it ever more real? I'd like to read to you from one of my favorite books, Pathway of Roses, and it's a book we're going to use in our book group in Ocala, or online coming up probably next month. But this is my go-to book, separate from the Bible, or Ernest Holmes or Charles Fillmore's writings, Pathway of Roses. And he addresses this question in a very profound way that I would like to share with you this morning. When we think of God as absolute and infinite, and try to picture his spirit as it fills the universe with his transcendental omnipresence, we seemingly lose at first that beautiful something that makes him personal to us. God does not seem to be God unless we can think of him as a friend and go to him as we would some person that is very near and very dear. It seems difficult to speak to an infinite being, and there's no beauty or comfort in believing in God unless we can speak to him at any time when we feel the need of his tender care. Nevertheless, our reason declares that God must be infinite, or he would not be God. And our spiritual discernment concurs with the reason upon this great momentous theme. How can he be personal? And if he is not personal, how can we think of him as being different from cold principle and law? We cannot think of love as existing apart from personality, and God is love. Therefore, he must be personal. But how can God, who fills the universe, be personal? This is the problem that confronts nearly every mind that passes from the literal belief in truth to the spiritual understanding of truth. When we try to think that God is not personal, we feel as if we've lost a great friend, the very friend of all friends. There seems to be no use for prayer, because how can the limitless soul of the universe be interested, especially in one of us, a mere atom in the immensity of the cosmos? Besides, we find it practically impossible to pray to something that is nothing but changeless principle and immutable law. We therefore cease prayer and substitute affirmations. But something's lacking. The soul remains comfortless. The intellect may be satisfied, but the tender elements of love and sympathy are gradually disappearing, and finally we come to a place where nothing but cold intellect remains. Then we discover we're not on the path. We've gone astray, and everything in that the heart has wished for seems to be far off in the distance. With God, all things are possible. Therefore, it is not beyond his power to be personal as well as infinite. Nor is it beyond the power of man to understand how this can be. God is the great soul of the universe. He lives and acts everywhere. There is no place where he is not. Nevertheless, he is just as personal to any one of us as the very dearest friend in truth. More so, because his personal nearness to us is closer than that of any friend, closer even than life itself. He is not limited and circumscribed as the form of a human personality. If he could be personal only to those who lived in the same locality as he might happen to live, therefore the vast throngs would receive no more comfort from his personal care than if they should try to worship principle and law. The very fact that God is infinite makes it possible for him to be personal to all the souls in the universe. And the fact that he is present everywhere throughout the limitless vastness of space makes it possible for him to give his personal care everywhere, thus ministering individually to every soul in existence. So we can believe in an infinite spirit that's everywhere present, and an infinite spirit that cares about us as individuals. As a matter of fact, created life to live as us so that it can experience life through us. So that's omnipresence in the way that I feel it from my heart. And one more, and probably all of you have heard of Florence Scovel Shinn, but maybe you don't know her story behind her books. Florence Scovel Shinn was an artist and illustrator in New York in the early 1900s. After going through a painful divorce and financial hardship, she discovered metaphysical and New Thought teachings. At first, she was skeptical, But as she began to turn inward and recognize the presence of the divine within her, her life dramatically shifted. She started practicing affirmations, aligning her thought with spiritual truth, and speaking about God as an ever-present source of abundance and guidance. She awakened to the realization that God was not distant, but expressing through her. As she deepened in this awareness, her financial struggles lifted. She began attracting opportunities and students who were seeking the same truth. Her lectures became widely attended, and her books, such as The Game of Life How to Play It, and Your Word is Your Wand, and a few others, continue to inspire people worldwide. So this morning, what can we do to grow in our understanding of letting God in as we awaken to God's presence? And I've got some ideas here. For God is forever within us. Letting God in is about awakening to our awareness. We align with the divine by recognizing our oneness with Spirit, don't we? And this wonderful phrase, let go and let God. How many of you have used this phrase in your life? Yeah. And I'm sure if we were to go around the room, each of you could tell me how you use it. Do you use it in those times when you're at a quandary and the pressures are too great for you to do it yourself? And so you say to yourself, I'm going to let go and let God, and hand it over to the divine, because here we have this understanding that God's everywhere present and all-powerful, not only omnipresent, but omnipotent and omniscient, all-knowing and all-wise. So when we let go and let God, we surrender to something greater than ourselves. And then what happens next? If the problem isn't solved immediately, at least the pressure's off, right? And as we open to that understanding, the answer reveals itself as if by magic to us. Whether it's a line in a new song that Sheba is writing and it's elusive to her, she'll get herself out of the way, I bet, and maybe think this very phrase, I'm going to let go and let God, write that next line. She's nodding her head if you can't see her. And all the things that you do creatively, they're not coming from you. Remember that light in the picture of the person at the beginning is flowing through him and out. It doesn't begin within. It flows through us from an infinite source and then out. So as we let go and let God, we are doing exactly what I'm talking about this morning. And you do it all the time. And if you haven't been using this phrase, try it out. See if it might work for you. Okay, so there are some things that we can do to shift our consciousness, and I know none of this is new for any of you, so you're already doing these things. You're releasing your limiting beliefs in that very moment when they seem to limit you, right? You're choosing to have faith over fear. If you've been in a place of fear, you make a decision. I'm going to have faith that the highest good is unfolding in my life. You're going to move from a resistance, and when we're caught up in the problems and the challenges of our life, we're resisting letting God in, aren't we? So we move out of that resistance into the acceptance, knowing that God's everywhere present, and God's right here if I'll only wake up. And then we create a space for that divine flow in your life. If we were to go around the room today, I'm sure you could tell me how you've done this, maybe even this last week. Because you do. And so some practices that we can do, spiritual practices, and these are good to remember in case we forget. One is to meditate, to quiet our mind. Turn away from your cell phone or your computer. Turn off the TV or your Alexa and just be. That's one of the things I love about my backyard, unless I've got my phone with me. And then it can ring, but I choose not to do any scrolling at that point, but to quiet our mind, because if our mind's busy in that loop, forever monkey mind, we're not letting God in, are we? We're keeping God away. And so for us to quiet our mind is a wonderful spiritual practice to do in meditation, perhaps in the morning, and then throughout the day as well. To declare divine truth. Ah, what is your go-to mantra that you say in your day? Mine is, wholeness is the truth of being. I have so many folks that ask for prayer from me, and quite often it's around health issues. And so I have, over the last 15 years probably, that particular affirmation, and I do others, but wholeness is the truth of being has become such a background in my head. I wake up thinking it in the morning quite often. And when I think of people that could benefit from healing, for me to put their name in this, you know? Wholeness is the truth of, you fill in the blank, being. It could be my being, it could be your being, it could be the being of someone that you love. It could be the earth. Wholeness is the truth of the earth's being. And then our prayers. And as we align with the truth of being and get specific about that which we're praying, we are inviting God in, aren't we? Because we know we don't do anything. It's the infinite source that creates and sustains everything. But we do through our believing, knowing that it's happening. And then in gratitude, recognize the divine in everything. So that's easy to do. On the spiritual path is a spiral path, isn't it? It's forever upward. And I love this particular metaphor, the nautilus shell. You know, when it starts out, it's very small, isn't it? And as it grows, it builds walls behind where it's been, as well as new walls for where it's going. And I think perhaps we do that as we grow spiritually. There's some things that we might had to unlearn, and we block them off as we've grown, haven't we? We leave them behind. And the nautilus uses them a little differently than what I'm describing, but notice as this particular nautilus got as big as the biggest shell there. So it isn't just a spiral upward, climbing stairs that are of equal size forever. We are growing spiritually as we go upward in our spiritual journey. And for you to know that you're in a very much more wonderful place than you were just last year. And when you look at the ideas that come forth for you, you know it's true. Yeah. And so for us to do some things, these are some things that made me think about what we want to do with this every day, to invite God into your day every morning. You might actually give your day to God today. I give this day to God today. I let God in, right first thing in the morning. And then remember throughout the day that you did that, because life gets busy sometimes and we forget. To see God everywhere. My son just moved to Tacoma, Washington, and this is the picture he took out of his back window 2 weeks ago of the sun rising over Mount Rainier. So he is seeing God in a new place, and I see it through his photos that he's taking of that. But for us to see God wherever we are, everywhere. And then to live the presence, we let God in to transform our daily life. We embody love, peace, and creativity as we let God in and live from that place of the presence. We become a channel for Spirit to express through us. And our lives express divine harmony and purpose. So letting God in is remembering who we truly are, expressions of the divine. By awakening to this truth, we open ourselves to greater love, wisdom, and peace. So I put that in an affirmation form for us to read together. As I let God in, I remember who I truly am, an expression of the divine. As I awaken to this truth, I open myself to greater love, wisdom, and peace. And so it is. And before we close, I invite you to look at your neighbor and say the second line there. You are an expression of the divine. You are an expression of the divine, those online. And so it is. And now one more song from being the queen.
Well, let you know you're a powerhouse for God. Ah, powerhouse for God.
Are we ready to be a powerhouse of God now?
Yes.
I'll have to turn up my band in the box because I turned them down for the last song.
Yes.
But here they come again. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Hey, I've never heard them skip a beat.
Well, these band boys.
They're bad boys.
You're a powerhouse for God. Say I'm spreading the news. You're a powerhouse for God. Open your heart, plug in, and make a joyful noise. Spread the news. You're a powerhouse for God. Say I'm spreading the news. You're a powerhouse for God. Open your heart, plug in, and make a joyful noise. We're gonna shout it out all over the world. every day, spreading the news. I'm a powerhouse for God. Woo! All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very nice. Spirited. Will the ushers come forward, please? Now it's time for the dedication of our tithes and offerings. Put your offerings in your hand, give them some energy so they can go where they need to go in love. Together, divine love flowing in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. This is our box. It's all of ours. It's part of our collective ministry. And each of us shares in it. To whoever drops a mustard seed in it, or an acorn, or a little flat round seed that's on the back table that will be fertilized and watered as it passes through our chaplains praying over it, and as it goes to Unity headquarters and is prayed over. I think it's up in that little tower up there in the top. Silent Unity, and it's prayed over for 30 days. So, Great Spirit, bless and keep these prayers that they might bloom in the right and perfect place and time. So it is. Yes, there's children in all of us, and children all around the world, and maybe just the curiosity and character of children and child, and that characteristic that is curiosity and childlike faith, hope, all those good things. Let us all bless the children within us. We love you, we appreciate you, we see you loved, guided, and protected, and we empower you to do great things. And are there any new visitors? I saw a couple new faces, but you might have been here a while back. Well, we'd like to give you a blessing. Put yourself in receiving mode and take it in for you are here, and we want to give you a blessing, and we love you, we bless you, we behold the Christ in you. We love you, we bless you, we behold the Christ in you. We love you, we bless you, we behold the Christ in you. glasses. Wednesday's Gathering Circle from 12:30 to 2 every Wednesday. We will be continuing a class by Eric Butterworth, Practical Metaphysics is the book now. I think we're almost done with that, Frank. Are we done with that?
We're done.
Okay, okay.
The four agreements.
We'll be starting the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Great book. We almost started on it last week because we were talking about moving into it, and quite a few people knew what the four were right off the top. So a lot will be done in that book. Next Sunday, October 12th, our guest speaker will be, Shirley's not here, so I'm not sure who the guest speaker will be.
Oh.
Kelly. Oh, thank you, sir. We're looking forward to that. Kelly.
Who is it, Bruce?
Kelly.
Kelly Brigman.
Yeah. The fall auction is almost here. The auction will be right here in the sanctuary on Sunday, October 19th. Start looking for new and nearly new items to donate. This is our second largest fundraiser. Martha, yeah.
Good morning.
Hi.
Okay, guys, it's that time again.
Yay.
We need new or nearly new. This is not a rummage sale. It's a silent auction. I need your help. I need your money. You're gonna shop like you're a millionaire. Okay? We got nice gifts. We do need extra donations by next Sunday because we're gonna be setting it up by the Sunday of the 18th. So Saturday of the 18th. Bring it all next week. We can put it in this room here in this conference room, children room, minister room, whatever you want to call it. There's some signs up there that says auction items. Go through the house. I know y'all got something that you just looking at and you know you don't need it. You don't need it. Bring it so we can sell it, okay? I need your help. We need your help. This is a fundraiser for our church. We need your support and your dollars. We got some good gifts here, okay? So we look forward to it. On the 19th, right after service, okay? All right.
And we always have a great time. Yeah, we always have a great time. All right, has anybody got anything else for the good of the church? Yes.
I wanted to welcome back Lisa Miller.
Oh, thank you. If that's it, please stand as you're able. Oh, Jim, I'm sorry.
Hey, John, just,
I was
I
reading.
don't want them up here.
Come on, let's have it.
Good morning. Last week I said we did finally get the starting date for the Peace Prayer Circle. We had our first session this past Wednesday at 10 o'clock, and we will be doing this every Wednesday prior to the book class from 10 until 11. We're going to be praying for peace, not only for the U.S., but for nations around the world. Our goal is to help create peace around the world. So I hope to see you there on Wednesday at 10 o'clock, right here. Thank you.
All right. 10 a.m. Wednesday morning. Yeah. Okay. Let's all stand up as we're able and comfortable and hold hands together. I don't know how big of the circle will be today, but we'll sing the peace song together. Big circle, big circle. With God as our creator.
Come on over here, babe. Come on, Mama.
Okay, Queenie.
Nobody's uncomfortably stretched out? Okay, good. Are we ready?
Oh, we made it.
Let